Say stuck with the war, you mean paying for it?
No, getting our troops out.
Well,
and a planned,
I was going to wait, but my turn. But let me continue with that. Then the war, your idea, best I can tell from these debates, which are not always easy to follow. But you're about the most adamant that you're going to just end that war.
Yeah, I am.
The minute you are president, we start sending the troops home. And I
do.
I sympathize with the thought, but I'm wondering what you're going to say to the rest of the world and to the country about the fact that for the last 5 years we've been waging this war. We started it, the United States, God knows we're all implicated. And now we're going to just turn around and go home. What are we going to say? We're sorry, or whoops?
Well, and you're right, at these debates. By the way, do any of you watch these debates?
As little as possible. I get paid for it. So,
I'm thinking of not showing up anymore. Actually, we had the last one. You guys will have the next one right before the primary.
Yesterday's was probably the most productive and easygoing of all of them. I don't like it when they get nasty, and I don't like it when people cut each other off because you don't know what they're saying. But anyway,
here's my position.
You're going to be a president who is going to have to repudiate the actions of your own government and your predecessor, right?
Yeah.
You got to find the right words to do that.
Well, the first thing I want you to know is I know the region. When I was UN ambassador, 80% of my time was on the Iraq issue. I went head-to-head with Saddam Hussein once. I got prisoners out. I know the Persian Gulf. I know the Sunnis, the Shia, and the Kurds. I think there is a diplomatic solution. So here's my position on the war. Make no mistake about it. Within a year, I go to my military, my Joint Chiefs, and say, I want all the troops out. Every one of them. Residual troops, everyone. I'd leave some in Kuwait, for some contingencies on terrorism. I'd put more in Afghanistan where they're needed. But I'd say, I want them out. And here's my rationale. Not until we get all our troops out, I believe, is it possible to have a political solution. Is it possible to redress the terrible instability that exists in Iraq? So what I would do is president-led effort to do three things as we take our troops out. One, a political compromise of the three groups, the Sunni, the Shia, and the Kurds. And I think there is one that involves a sharing of oil revenues, maybe a soft partition, sharing power in cabinet ministries, a peacekeeping force headed by the UN, probably Arab, European troops, a donor conference, Japan, rich Arab states to deal with the reconstruction of Iraq. We've spent $500 billion. Our military's done a great job. We can't just continue being the world's policeman and pay for all these things when we've got domestic needs at home.
But the ultimate question behind all of this is, if all of this fails, if you can't make it work, if we can't reshape Iraq in our image, are you prepared to just draw a line and say we failed?
I don't like to say that as America, but I think what I'd rather do is shift our policy to make it work. Pan, I'm not saying we become pessimists. Everyone's a pessimist. Oh, we can't do this. Oh, it's terrible. They all hate each other. I'm an optimist. I think I know how to get things done. I just think that American can-do spirit to resolve problems has been absent. And you're right to be skeptical because you've got a government that, pays for this war without going through the budget, or a federal debt that is $9 trillion just spent, or, a planet that is being eradicated by greenhouse gas emissions, and we just sit back. So,
did you think the war was a good idea when Bush started?
No. I said we have to have more diplomacy. I was very open about it. But once we went in, I want the troops to do well, so I said some good things about the troops, but I wasn't a governor. I was like taking care. I had a real job being a governor.
Well, but you had your pews, obviously.